In today's video, we'll be talking about side effects caused by Minoxidil. Hey my fellow follicle frontiersmen, it's DJ from Keratin Brotherhood. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, as always, welcome. Keratin Brotherhood is here to help you build confidence in your hair loss through transparency, empathy, and positivity. If you enjoyed today's content, consider clicking that subscribe button and also click the bell to turn on notifications. That way you can be one of the first to be notified whenever I upload new content. Minoxidil is one of the best over-the-counter treatments for hair loss. And it's widely used across the world by guys who are trying to regrow hair and trying to control their own hair fall. However, Minoxidil does come with side effects that you should be aware of. Now understand that most people aren't going to experience any of these side effects, but there are people who are sensitive to the drug. And so, you should be aware that these side effects do exist. That way if you experience some of them, you can maybe consult with your doctor and try to see if it's something you should consider doing, or maybe even just reducing the dosage or making the decision to discontinue using Minoxidil altogether. Now, Minoxidil was not originally used to regrow hair. As a matter of fact, Minoxidil was used as a vasodilator. It was used as a drug to reduce high blood pressure, which means that one of the common side effects that people who are sensitive to the drug experience is low blood pressure, and it manifests itself in dizziness. So some guys will experience dizzy spells, especially if they go from sitting to standing too quickly. You'll start feeling dizzy, or even just walking around you feel very lightheaded and dizzy. Right, now this comes from low blood pressure. The Minoxidil is in your bloodstream and it's causing your blood pressure to drop, which, if you don't understand, one of the symptoms of hypotension is dizziness. If you experience this side effect, I highly recommend that you discontinue using Minoxidil and consult with your physician to see if continuing the drug is the right decision for yourself. The second side effect that you could experience from using Minoxidil are dark circles. These are like the raccoon eyes of just looking tired from using the drug, and that also comes from the fact that it is a vasodilator. It widens your blood vessels and it can cause swelling, edema. And if you have swelling, it can cause fluid deposition in parts of your body. And one of those places of deposition is here, under your eyes. And you start getting this kind of really tired appearance, and it looks like you haven't slept in a day or two. So people are like, man, you look really tired. That's generally because of Minoxidil. Also consider life factors, guys. If you're the type of guy who is out partying all night, or if you're like me and you're in grad school and raising a daughter and working full-time and doing YouTube at the same time, just general lack of sleep can cause dark circles. So don't pin it all on Minoxidil. But if you know that everything else in your life has been normal and suddenly you're having dark circles since starting Minoxidil, then it's probably a reasonable assumption that it's caused by Minoxidil. I'm not a doctor though, this is not professional medical advice, but if you're really unsure, make sure you visit your doctor in all of these cases of the side effects. The third side effect that you can experience is fatigue. This is one that I did experience because Minoxidil has a tendency to cause guys to just feel tired. And when I mean tired, I'm not talking about like sleepy tired, I just want to take a nap. Like you just feel tired. It's one of those things where it can affect you for the whole entire time that you're using the drug, or it can come and go. And in my case, it kind of comes and goes. But these days, I haven't had fatigue in a while. I'm not sure why it hasn't affected me anymore, but I don't have it. Now, the fourth side effect that you can experience is common amongst liquid Minoxidil users, and that's flaking and dry skin. Minoxidil liquid uses propylene glycol, and the propylene glycol is a carrier agent that essentially strips away the outer layers of the epidermis, which allows the Minoxidil to penetrate into the skin. What that peeling away does though is causes you to experience dandruff, like big flakes on the areas that you apply it. There's really nothing you can do about this. You could switch to using foam Minoxidil, but the foam Minoxidil is like twice the price, and the dry skin is really not a big deal for most guys to pay double the money for the same drug, okay? Now you can try your hand at controlling the dryness. What I mean to say is after you apply the liquid Minoxidil, it takes about 2 or 4 hours to dry. Afterwards, you can try to apply some oils, like jojoba oil is a good choice. You can apply some kind of castor oil, just something into your scalp to keep it moisturized. But I've noticed that even if I do that, there's going to be flaking to some extent, and it's just unavoidable. Okay, and so the only way to deal with that is to either one, accept it, or two, switch to the foam Minoxidil. It's your choice. Now the fifth side effect is one that you really should take seriously, especially if you are an older guy who's using Minoxidil, and that is heart palpitations. Now I'm not quite sure about the exact reason why some guys experience palpitations when it comes to using Minoxidil, but there are a decent number of guys on the message boards who have mentioned that they experienced the palpitations, and it's quite a frightening experience. Personally, I have heart palpitations because I have a heart condition, so I have palpitations anyways. But if you're a guy who's generally healthy and you're young and you start noticing like this fluttering sensation, you experience kind of shortness of breath, or you experience any kind of dizziness alongside the fluttering, and you're using minoxidil, that's generally because the minoxidil is causing it. In that case, stop it immediately and go see your doctor, guys. Like literally, stop it and go see your doctor. That's not something you want to play with. This isn't like, oh, you know, I got dry skin, haha. Dude, this is your heart. And in most cases, palpitations for young guys aren't a big deal, but the older you get, the more serious it has to be considered. Okay, so if you're a guy who's over the age of 30 and you're experiencing palpitations while using minoxidil, please go see a doctor, okay? Now the last side effect that you could experience from using minoxidil is something that is really, really rare, but it does happen, and I feel like it's worth mentioning. I've already mentioned it in a couple of my other videos, but it's called hypertrichosis. And basically it means that the minoxidil enters your bloodstream, and if you're very sensitive to it, you can start growing hair on other parts of your body. Not your head, not your beard, not even your mustache. We're talking about like your fucking face, okay? Or like your arms get hairier, or your hands get hairier. It's one of those things where you don't really notice it until it's already happened. If you start noticing that you're getting more hair growth on parts of your body that normally didn't have like thick hair growth, you need to make a decision. Do you want to just deal with it, or do you want to discontinue using minoxidil because it's clearly causing you to grow hair in other places? You can see this picture of this girl here. This is the classic example of hypertrichosis, where she had the same problem with hair growing on her face, into her forehead and onto her cheeks, and then also you can see the hairiness of her arms. These hairs grew and then began to thicken up and darken. Okay, this is a prime example of hypertrichosis. But it's the most rare side effect, and most people aren't going to experience that. But if you are that unlucky person who does, well, then you need to make a decision about what you're going to do next, because it seems like a really, really bad side effect to have. Anyways, guys, so there you go. Those are the side effects that you should be aware of when it comes to using minoxidil. My name is DJ from Character Brotherhood. I'll see you guys in the next video.